guys, so welcome back to the stream. So yesterday we dive into um, some of the key data structure within iceberg, and we also created this mental map of what those structures are and data types, sorry, and it'll help us memorize it further, right? So I am let me just do one thing. So I just don't need it anymore, right? So I'm gonna expand this over here so we have more space to draw and to make sure that we have proper visibility. And yeah, let's just see if I can do that. Yes. Okay, so I am thinking of creating the like this, but like I am going to like go through this all the state variables and mappings declared in the spoke contract, and basically try to make sure that we understand it fully and we can make sense of it and remember it. It'll help a lot, and when I say a lot, I mean it. Like, it'll basically help us very much, right? So here is the code that we will be trying to remember, or basically not the code but the state, right? So we'll create just a second if I can make here. So what the hell, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with the charts here. If I can move it further, can it happen? Can I move it further? It works now. So let me I have to make it a bit smaller. Yep. So this is the address of the oracle, address of the oracle, which will be used to get the price of the what was the word of token, I forgot what's it called, collateral, underlying asset, yeah, and the underlying asset collateral. Yep. So apologies about me going AFK again and again. Yeah. So this is the oracle, and also this here is the, like, we are mapping like we have assets ID as well, which is numeric, which defines like which gives an ID to an asset within the pod. Oh, sorry, not the pod but the liquidity hub. So this is basically simple ID of the asset within the liquidity hub. I can't see it. That makes sense now. And the maximum allowed value for dynamic configuration key, as we recall in the last video we discussed that it is more like it's like a simple version tracking mechanism. I am not pretty sure like how does it work right now, and which is okay, because right now our focus should be on understanding the like move forward towards understanding the code, and then we can make sense out of what's going on, right? So this is that, and then we move towards oh sorry, no, my bad, I pointed at the wrong. No, yeah, there it is. Then we have wait a second. Yeah, so we have max allowed collateral risk, the maximum allowed collateral risk value for a reserve. So remember we have this risk profiling that is being happening here. I think it was not reserves config. It was, I think, in reserve only. No. Reserves. It's somewhere. Let me just see. Average collateral factor, and what the hell were we doing? Collateral risk, health factor, risk premium. There was something I clearly remember. Let me just quickly see. Underlying dynamic is basically here. Collateral risk, here it is. Like collateral risk is basically yeah, the risk that the it'll help us to determine the premium. So collateral risk is simply collateral risk helps calculate risk premium. Makes sense. So now we have a clarity on this as well. The next thing is health factor liquidation threshold. I think the minimum health liquidation threshold, the minimum health factor below which the position is considered unhealthy. Okay, so I simply write here, just give me a moment. Yeah, I can do that now. So minimum health factor before liquidation. Yeah, minimum health factor is that liquidation threshold. Let's understand this. I wrote a comment in the previous video about not getting it, but let's try. The maximum amount considered as dust for a user's collateral. um, Collateral, by the way, is the money that it is depositing. uh, the maximum amount considered as dust for a user's collateral and debt balances after a liquidation. Okay. I'll just write a value for I don't clearly get what it is, right? So I'm just gonna keep it here as like simple dust value for user's position, dust value indicator for user position. We'll update this once we understand what it is actually used for, and then we can make more sense out of it. Oracle decimals are the decimal used by the, like, we can scale it, right? So let's suppose that the oracle is using, let's say, 14 decimals, right? Then we can like scale accordingly. I need to totally understand it like carefully how so these are the things where generally teams mess up, where they are doing wrong calculation or making assumptions. So it's like good to understand this. I'll make the comment under green so I come back and see. So number, I'll just make it bold. Understand decimals used by Oracle. Can I do this? Yes, I can do this. Yeah, and then we have reserve count. Reserve count is basically how much of different reserves we have under a spoke, like how many assets are we talking to, that is reserve. Let me just copy this. I'll copy this as well. Yeah, how many reserves we have under the spoke. Yep, how many reserves we have. We are keeping a track of like how many, like if we try to add a new reserve, so we are keeping a track to make sure that acts as a key somewhere alongside these mappings, right? So that should be the case here, and let's go and understand the next data structure, which is user positions. And can I let's just make it big for now, because since we are actually dealing with the just give me a second, there's a call coming up. Yeah, so I apologies. Let me just see if the voice is working. Let me just check quickly. Everything's working. Yeah. So we have user's position, which should represent the position of the user, and Of course, by then you can understand by the name of the mapping. Map of user addresses and reserve identifier to user position. And then we have, like, we are using the reserve ID, which I said it's like the ID of a particular reserve, which we are creating using the reserve count, which we will be creating. This is my best guess. I haven't looked into the code right now. So we have reserve ID, which is the key, and we have user positions where it will point. Can I just copy user position? Yeah, here it is. I'll just copy it for better visibility, and I'll copy it here. So I have a better understanding. Like, I can just, like, I don't need to go back and look around the corner. I'll just keep everything over here neat and clean. And wait a second, I'll think this is way better if we can do it here. Second, I fucked up a little. Never mind. Can I do this? Is that good enough? Yeah. So let me just create a pointer here. Yeah, so we have a mapping of user address, uh, which maps to a mapping itself in a mapping, which points for, like, which basically so there is like a user which can have multiple positions open within different reserves, right? So it could be either in one reserve he is depositing and in the other reserve he is borrowing, right? So we are keeping track of the drawn shares, which is comes under user positions. And sorry, wrong indicator, here it is. So user position is basically how much the user has drawn for that reserve ID, how much the premium share is, that tracks which basically tracks the interest owed to the protocol in shares. And then we have premium offset ray, which I forgot what it is, but should be something related to no idea. Yeah, and then we have supplied, like how much the user have supplied, and then version controller, which is dynamic config key. So basically we are here, we are tracking user position across multiple reserves, tracking user positions under multiple reserves. Did I spell it right? Yeah. And then we are going to another mapping, which is position status, which where the user address is the key, and then we are pointing towards the struct position status, and we have position status as position status. Where is it? Oh, we did not discuss it. So let me just see where it is. Position status. I think it should be there only. Am I missing out? I'm missing something, because it should be there. Yeah, oh sorry, here it is. Position status is basically consisting of so how much the user needs to like there is a mapping which I have no idea what does it do. And then we have wait a second, oh my god, why does it happen to me always? This is kind of lame. let me just get rid of it. Yeah. So we have a mapping which says the map of bit sorry the map of bitmap buckets for user position status. So I think we are just keeping a track of some status, like the position statuses. And then we have risk premium, which is the premium that needs to be paid by the user for based on the uh, as where was it I wait a second, sorry, to put it back here. So I think that is based upon like how much the risk is there, and we are keeping the track of risk under reserve config, like collateral risk, right? It'll make right now it is very hard for me to remember as well, but I think it'll make sense as soon as I get to understand a lot of things here and there. Like when I'll review, I think it'll stay with me, like it'll stick with me. Okay, and I truly hope so that happens. Tracks users position status and the premium for he needs to pay for this game. Yep, I think that makes sense. Then we have a mapping of reserve ID. So we saw reserve ID here as well. So we are keeping a track of, so first we did a track of user position. Now we are tracking the reserve ID itself, right? We are keeping track of the reserve ID, and I'll just copy reserve from here, and reserve, I'll paste it here. Just give me a moment. Yeah, I can keep it here. That'll make more sense. Yeah, it took a lot of place. It's a big data type. Yeah. So we are keeping track of the underlying token the hub it needs to point at. So the liquidity actually resides in under the hub, not the spoke itself. So the spoke is basically a pointer towards the hubs, and like it needs to keep track of uh, how much the user owes or would like have deposited. So we use spokes for that, for the accounting purposes. So in the reserves we are keeping the reserve ID, which is like an identifier to a reserve, and then we are like pointing towards the reserves, which has underlying token, hub, asset ID, decimals, and the version, and the collateral risk, and other details which are there. So we are let me just quickly get this pointed here. That makes sense now. Yeah. Reserve details, like asset, hub, risk, etc. per reserve ID. That makes sense. And then we have a position manager config. I think it's just the same. Where was it? Yeah, here it is. So it keep tracks of manager, right? So we are keeping. I think this is the most easiest as of now. I'm not pretty sure like how it'll go. Uh, like when we remove like review further, but till the moment it seems to be one of the simplest data type within the Aave, right? So map it just maps position manager's address to the config where we define whether like the uh, position manager is active, and the approval, the mapping of position manager's approval, right? So it like we can just simply point here, give me a moment, then we can do this. Yep, makes more sense. um, yep. Okay, I'll just quickly note it down. um uh Position managers approval settings, that should be enough. And status of course. So once this is down, let's move towards another dynamic config. So this is something that I really don't understand, like how does like to simplify, like dynamic config is basically um, version controls, similar to version controls, where based on the key we can understand like at, at this particular version what was the configuration, right? But how it's supposed to work, I'm not pretty sure. So we in this particular mapping we are keeping track of let's just read the description as of now. Map of reserve identifiers and dynamic configuration keys to the dynamic configuration data, right? So let's understand this. Dynamic configuration key is nothing but like uint. These are numbers and which are map like which are pointing towards the reserve dynamic reserve config. Let me just get it before that. Uh, just no, let's just get it. Dynamic reserve config, here it is. I think I can put it here. That'll be more sense. That'll make more sense here. Yep. So we have this, right? And the data that dynamic reserve config uh, consists of is collateral factor, like the amount of money the user can borrow based on his collateral. And it has max liquidation bonus, like what is the maximum, like the extra, where was it, I forgot, the maximum extra amount of collateral given by to the liquidator as bonus. Okay, it like it is the like it is the max cap on like um how much a liquidator can earn the max based on a healthy position. And liquidation fee is the the fee that needs to be paid to the protocol on top of the liquidation bonus. So we have reserve IDs, right? And then we have a dynamic keys, and then we are pointing, like we have this dynamic configs, like which have collateral factors. Maybe in the future the collateral becomes more stable, and the the risk factor becomes low. Oh, no, sorry, not the risk factor, but maybe the liquidation settings changes, right? That is like that. But how would we man, like if in the in the near future, um the the assets becomes more stable and healthy, um how would we manage risk? So risks are generally mentioned under target health factor, should be under the uh, mhm. Wait a second. Yeah, collateral risk is under uh, risk config. Where is risk config? Hmm. We have reserve, right? So where is reserve? Reserve there is, and then we have collateral risk there. That is associated. Yeah, but how do we actually, like? Would we be able to manage? This is interesting. This is really interesting. Uh, so I'll just take a note of it now. For now, at least for now. So uh, so this particular mapping basically is a version controller, version control, where we keep track of settings such as collateral factor, that is how much a user can borrow on his deposit, liquidation fee. Where did I mess up? Oh, sorry, yeah. Liquidation fee and max cap that the that could be liquidated. Yeah, makes sense. Sorry. Oh, I forgot my stream was on. Damn, I'm still not used to streaming. Uh, the another um, state um, or the data type would be liquidation config, which is just a uh, a public config like a struct. I'm not pretty sure like why they put it above the reserve exists, but let's see. Liquidation config is where is it? Liquidation config, here it is. I'll just copy it completely. No, I should copy it from here. No, not this. Just here. Oh yeah, and then I'm gonna paste it somewhere here. It'll make more sense, and I'll move it somewhere here. So can I not do this? Rather put it here. Okay, let's just put it here, and we can take it from there. Yeah. So liquidation config consists of target health factor that and it is a global settings, by the way, for the whole spoke, not per reserve. At least this is what I am assuming right now based on what I am seeing right now. So liquidation config is basically a config for liquidation where we have target health factor, which is like the user the health score that the user needs to maintain across his position, the health factor for max bonus. If the health factor reaches a point, then we unlock maximum amount for liquidation. The health factor under which the liquidation bonus. Okay, so it is like the same what we got we had in the, I think that was dynamic reserve config. Yes, where we can unlock the maximum amount of bonus for liquidation. It is that like we need to declare. Previously in reserve config we had defined like how much uh, um, the maximum extra amount of collateral that he can borrow, but here we are declaring um, like if this particular like position reaches, then you can redeem the maximum amount, right? Like this score. And liquidation bonus factor is the value multiplied by max liquidation bonus to compute the minimum liquidation bonus. I'm no clue about that. But so to summarize what it is basically it is the configuration for liquidation, like which includes the target health factor and the maximum uh, wait a second, can I copy this? Yeah. So settings for the it is spoke. I keep on forgetting the word spoke, and it is an interesting choice of word as well, which is really hard to remember. Settings for spoke, which includes target health factor, that is the score users need to maintain, and health factor for max bonus, etc. So also I'll just put it here so make the spacing. Yeah, so we now understand this as well. And then lastly we have the address of hubs. Like you can point towards the hub, and I'll give you the mapping. Like there is another inner mapping. Like if you give the hub and then the asset ID, it'll basically tell you whether um, the asset like the hub exists or not. Sorry, the asset exists within that hub or not. So let me just create this as well. Map to check whether an asset. Sorry, I wrote the wrong whether. No, I chose the right whether an asset exists in a hub or not. What? How do we spell it? Okay. Yep. So that is this. I think we are good on our understanding now. We have created some cool diagrams. It looks very cool. I'm happy about it. The next in the next stream, what we are going to do is we are going to deep dive into the code itself. Um, I I will complete the stream today so that we complete the spoke section and move towards the liquidity hub side of things. It has already been 2 days, sorry, 3 days where we went through like the documentation, the data structures. Now it is the time where we really need to and we need to understand like what is actually blocking us and move forward. Yeah, so I'll see you in the next stream. Bye bye. See ya.